Yep.
Hey everyone, good afternoon. Happy Friday. Welcome to episode 7 of What's Cooking Tonight with the Garcia gals. I'm Stacey Garcia. Ava will probably pop in soon. She's finishing up some schoolwork for the day. We have our Kickstart orientation this evening, so we're busy bees in the house. The most exciting thing about this is that I am going to get this out of the way for tonight, which is amazing, so we can all eat at our own times. Some really exciting news for our Arena Fitness member community. We have teamed up with Lorena Flores from Prepped for Days, and we are going to be rolling out and announcing tonight. I'm pretty much announcing it now as a little preview, but tonight we're going to announce that we are going to be rolling out Prepped for Dinner, which is amazing. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. So this arrived on my doorstep on Wednesday. All right, it's already been a couple days. That's why it's a little crumpled, because it's been in my fridge for a couple days. I kept it and waiting to share it with you guys today. So this came to my door on Friday, and all the ingredients were inside for this simple squash spaghetti. So this is what it looks like. These are the things that we're gonna need. And on the back is the recipe, okay? So I took the liberty today to cook the spaghetti squash because it's supposed to be in the oven for a half an hour, so I want to show you how we put all of it together. So the spaghetti squash came, cute spaghetti squash, and I sliced it lengthwise in half, and I brushed it with avocado oil, some salt and pepper. So this is what it looks like. It's still steaming a little. I wanted it, it's pretty much cooled down. I'll be able to work with it, but it's perfect. It's so tender. I de-seeded and got most of the pulp out before cooking to make it a little bit easier. And it was super simple. It's been out of the oven for about a half an hour, cooling. My water is boiling, so I'm gonna add my pasta. I'm a gluten-free girl, so I use my red lentil pasta spaghetti. The recipe calls for angel hair. I don't think I've ever seen gluten-free angel hair. If you have, let me know where you got it. Let me just open up my laptop and make sure that everyone can see and hear me. All right, perfect. Perfect. Okay. So I am going to just put a pinch of salt in my boiling water, and I'm going to add my spaghetti. This spaghetti says it'll take about 8 to 10 minutes. Whoa. I'm making a mess over here in my kitchen. Notice how long this spaghetti was. So we'll check on this guy in about 8 minutes, but I'm going to just gently get all of the pasta in the boiling water, and then I'll set my timer. It's almost there. Alright, I'm going to set my timer for 8 minutes. It's always best to set it on the al dente side, so if it needs to cook a little longer, totally fine. Set the timer for a little bit longer, but you can't undo cooking. So always make sure that you set it for a lower setting before it's too late. Okay, so that's going. That's going to look gorgeous. I am going to turn my skillet on. And I am going to prep my bolognese sauce. So let me look at my handy recipe. So I'm gonna add, I prefer avocado oil when I cook as opposed to olive oil. So I'm gonna use avocado oil. Everything else besides the oil is already in the kit, okay? So Since you guys know I'm vegetarian, and so Lorena has provided my meat, my beefless beef for me, which is amazing. I have garlic, oregano, Italian seasoning, onion already chopped, which is awesome, Parmesan cheese, and the tomato sauce. It's all here, it's all ready to go. All I have to do is put it together. I didn't have to shop for my food. It got brought to my door with the right amounts, and all I'm gonna do is put it together. So I'm gonna show you how fast and easy and simple this can be. I mean, all we need right now is to make our lives easier in the kitchen. So this is a great way to go about it, that's for sure. Lorena, I think you're watching. You are, my dear. If you want to put in the comment section your contact information for people to contact you, we are rolling this out first for our Kickstarters. Our Kickstarters get first dibs, lucky Kickstarters, and then we're going to be opening it up to the public, okay, just so you guys all know. So if you're Kickstarter and you're watching, congratulations, you guys are the lucky winners. So this is heating up nicely. I'm just going to add some avocado oil. Let's see. Yeah, just about 1 teaspoon. So by this time, I've been cooking for a long time. I have a pretty good eye, but if you're pretty new to cooking and not exactly sure how much oil you use, make sure you have your teaspoons handy for sure. I am going to saute the garlic and onion first. Actually, I think I might just chop this up a little finer for my sauce. You can always make it your own. I'm actually out of the onion game. I gave up onions years ago, and I'm like slowly reintroducing cooked onions, which is easier on my gut. And I'm glad that I'm okay with it because I love the taste of onions. So, for special occasions, I definitely incorporate the onions when I'm living large. I know, my life is so exciting. All right, beautiful. All right, let me stir up my onion. I'll put in my garlic in just a bit. So we're just gonna add the onion and the garlic. I have a garlic press. You can chop it up if you'd like. I love my garlic press, so I'm going to grab that guy in my strainer. And I'm just going to gently stir until the onions are more translucent, slightly browned, so we're going to cook them down, and then I'm going to add my meat. So this can be customized for meat eaters as well. You will just get your meat of choice. I chose to do the vegetarian route. This guy open. Oh, it smells so good. I forgot how much I love the smell of onions and garlic together. Oh, it's the best thing ever. All right, I'm gonna add my meat. You guys could smell how amazing my kitchen smells right now. It's so good. I'm just excited to have this for dinner tonight. I haven't done a bolognese in a really long time. So I'm gonna brown the meat a little bit with the onions before I add the seasonings and the sauce. Because I like my meat browned a little bit. So I'm gonna let that go. I'm gonna gently stir my pasta. Use some tongs. Okay, those are looking very nice. I'll get my colander ready. When you see that your pasta is just about done, make sure you have that colander ready. Because you're gonna want, when your pasta is at its desired, like perfect, for me it's al dente, but just the doneness that you want to immediately transfer it over to a colander and put cold water on top so it stops the cooking process. Otherwise, it'll get too mushy. And you gotta be careful with the gluten-free pasta with that, but I love this gluten-free pasta. Okay, perfect. So I'll give the meat maybe another minute or so to brown while I just finish this pasta. If you've never prepped spaghetti squash before, I highly recommend doing so. It is beyond fun. I actually was prepping it earlier and Ava was like, no, because we grew spaghetti squash last year and our spaghetti squash plant was so out of control that we had so much spaghetti squash, and I think I overdid it with the spaghetti squash. I can eat it for days, my family not as much. All right, it's been 8 minutes, so I'm gonna check this out and see if it's to my desired doneness. Desired texture. Let's see. 1 more minute. We'll give that 1 more minute. So much there. This is looking so gorgeous. I might give this 1 more minute as well, and then I'll add the tomato sauce. I'm going to add my oregano, my Italian seasoning, a little bit of my salt and pepper. So I had everything provided for me, minus oil, which everyone should always have on hand, and then salt and pepper. Those are like staples in the kitchen that you guys should always have on hand. Everything else is prepackaged, ready to go, fresh as can be. All right, so we have about 15 minutes here. 15 seconds. Double check this. Perfect. Okay. Beautiful. Stop. Getting a 3 facial right now. We'll stop the pasta from cooking, drain it down with some cold water. All right, I'm going to add the sauce first, our tomato sauce. Oh, it smells so good. All right. Gorgeous tomato sauce. All this back in here. I'm going to add the seasoning. Yummy, yummy. The oregano. Love it. really great fresh ingredients, you're really not going to need that much salt. All right, we mix this all together. This looks so beautiful. It's like the perfect weather outside for this meal tonight, so I'm super stoked. This is gorgeous. Show you guys what this looks like. Beautiful sauce, I love it. Nothing like a good vegan bolognese, it's so delicious. All right guys, so we're gonna let it simmer for 5 to 7 minutes, then turn the heat off and cover with a lid, okay? So let's do 6 minutes, and we'll just let that simmer. I'm gonna lower the heat a little bit, make sure it's all stirred together. So I'm just gonna lower that heat, because when you're simmering, you don't want huge bubbles. If there's little boiling bubbles, it's okay, but you want to keep the temperature pretty low. All right, guys, so I am going to grab, let's see what bowl I want to use. Okay, this is perfect. I'm going to use this bowl. Okay. So I'm going to scrape the squash, and it's going to go into nice spaghetti noodles. I'm going to put it into the bowl. Then I'm going to add the gluten-free red lentil spaghetti noodles to it. And then I'm going to top it off with the sauce, and it's going to be perfect. All right. And then I'll add the Parmesan right before I serve it, which will be later on this evening. Okay, so I'm going to grab my squash. To definitely make sure, guys, that when you're working with the squash, make sure it is completely cooled before you grab onto it. And it's been about an hour since it's been out of the oven. It's still slightly warm. So this is how easy it is to get all of those spaghetti squash noodles out. Gorgeous. You want it to be nice and tender for sure. It cannot be undercooked. This should not be al dente by any means. This is a beautiful spaghetti squash too. 'Tis the season for spaghetti squash. I did save a couple of the seeds from the spaghetti squash because I think I'm playing with the idea of possibly planting some and growing some because I forgot how much I love it. We planted some zucchini where the spaghetti squash was last year, and it looks like I might have a little room if I continuously cut it back, but it just like takes over your garden. It's amazing. I love growing spaghetti squash. Make sure that I get all the noodles, just totally follow this guy out. Beautiful. It literally couldn't be easier. And it's so, so healthy. I think I prefer the spaghetti squash over the zucchini noodles, although this summer I will be making a lot of zucchini pasta since I'm growing it for the first time. But I do love a good spaghetti squash, that's for sure. So again, I removed all the pulp and seeds prior to cooking per the instructions, and honestly, it makes life so much easier. All right, beautiful. Oh, that sauce looks so good. All right, gorgeous, guys. So that's your spaghetti squash noodles, and that little baby squash really provided a lot of noodles, which is awesome. So this recipe will serve 4 to 6 people, depending on your portions. See how much? I mean, this is going to be pasta for days, which is awesome because I love a good leftover. And one of my favorite things is leftover pasta for brunch, making it breakfast pasta and adding an egg on top. It's one of my favorite things. So that is definitely what's going down tomorrow. All right, so I'm going to mix my gluten-free noodles with the spaghetti squash noodles. At first I was a little bit concerned over the look of this spaghetti squash with the red lentil pasta. So if you're using a regular pasta, if you're not gluten-free, I feel like it'll look so much prettier unless you were to use a brown rice pasta. But the health benefits of the red lentil pasta outweighs the look for me, period. I love a red lentil pasta or a chickpea pasta as opposed to a brown rice or corn. All right. Well, this looks amazing. So, let me move this so you guys can see better. So I am going to top it with the sauce. There's just 1 minute left on the clock. Although I am going to be reheating this dish later, so I might cut it a little bit short because it looks really, really cooked down. So I'm going to turn off the heat, I'm going to turn off the timer, and I'm going to dress this because this is absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful. What I love about prep for dinner as opposed to the other services out there, and I'm so happy that we have these services available to us right now to make our lives easier, to not have to worry about stepping into markets, is that prep for dinner and prep for days will completely individualize, customize your ingredients. So if you have food allergies, if you have food intolerances like I do, if you're a vegetarian, if you're vegan, if you don't eat this but love this, or you don't like tomatoes, or whatever it is, they'll customize every dish for you, which is really phenomenal. Not any other place will do that. So this is so gorgeous, you guys. So I'm going to show you what this looks like. Ta-da! It's beautiful. So we're just going to I'll just put a sprinkle of Parmesan. It'll melt because I'll be keeping it in the, keeping it out for a little bit, and I'll add the rest later. But just so you guys see, it's gorgeous. You're getting half of the carbs that you normally would, and so you can eat a whole lot more. Gorgeous, you guys. And it's 24 minutes since I started this show. So it was really 24 minutes of work. Just the spaghetti squash literally took me like 2 minutes to prepare to put in the oven, and I just let it sit for a half an hour, and then I let it sit outside. So I'd recommend starting this an hour and a half probably before you want to eat, just because you really need to make sure that that spaghetti squash has plenty of time to cool before you prep this dish. Or do it earlier, have it all ready to go, put it in your fridge once it's cooled, and then you can have your dinner waiting and ready for you when your time to eat, which is such a blessing nowadays. So here you guys are. This is my gorgeous, simple squash spaghetti from Prep for Dinner. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Have a beautiful Friday. Oh, hi, Eva. You want to come and say hi and bye? I already finished. Look how beautiful it looks. Isn't it gorgeous? Oh, I'm sorry, baby. I asked you to. All the kids like, I smell dinner, I smell dinner. All right, you guys, say thanks to everyone and wave goodbye. Have a beautiful day.
Bye.